Hi everybody, it's Mike. I have a PlayStation 2 and I was playing it the other day, Need for Speed, one of my favorite games. I did 2 races and then the red light started blinking and it shut down. I'm like, well, that doesn't seem to be very good. So I looked it up and that means that, usually that means the fan had stopped working. The PlayStation 2 started overheating, and it's a safety thing that once it starts to get to a certain temperature, it shuts itself down to protect itself. So let's see if it's the fan, and let's see if we can fix it. So I'm not going to leave it on and let it overheat by itself. Just show you, ignore the dust. It's disgusting. I know that doesn't help the situation. But you see, if I spin it around here, you'll see that the fan, it's not spinning. So that would be the problem. And that's what we got to fix. All right, we got the portable work table out. We got the teal mat. Let's open her up. You got the 6 feet there on the bottom. They just pop out. Get a flathead screwdriver and stick it in there and pop it out. And like I said, we got 6 of them to go through. All right, we got those out, and we got 6 screws. These 4 are long ones. All right, so let's take out the 6 screws. 6 screws are out. Let's take the bottom cover off. It's a little tricky. You gotta kind of lean it forward a little bit and a little back and work it out. I had a little trouble here getting it off. As I'm working my way towards the other side here, I realize, yeah, I'm doing something wrong. I forgot a step. All right, so let me flip it on its side here, and yeah, there's the warranty sticker that I totally forgot. And that is what is holding it together and why I can't get the bottom off. So I get out handy dandy knife there and cut it there so I can get the bottom off. And now, amazingly, I can get the bottom off. How about that? Or it's actually the top, but you know what I mean. You gotta be careful because there is a ribbon cable that is connecting the top to the rest of the board. You want to be careful because the ribbon cable, I understand, is very difficult to get back in once you take it off. So it's probably better to actually take off the switch from the top itself. So you kind of wiggle it around and it kind of pops off, but I had trouble getting it. You fiddle around with it for a couple of minutes. Still having troubles with it, and finally, I get it off. And I'll try to show you here what my problem was. There's like a little hole that it's supposed to go into there, and you kind of have to pop that out. I don't know. I had all kinds of trouble with that. All right, so that's the fan we need to take out, but you got to take more stuff out in order to get to the fan. The switch in the back, that's simple, just slides right out, and there is a screw underneath there that you have to unscrew. And there's 3 more screws, 1, 2, 3, that you also have to take out. Once those screws are removed, you can turn it over gently again, watching the ribbon cables and everything, and make sure you don't get anything snagged and like that stuff there. And now we can take off the bottom. Of course, I had more trouble getting the bottom off like I did the top, but eventually I did manage to get it off. Just kind of wiggle it around, and eventually it'll pop off. All right, we got 4 screws to take off, and make sure you keep the screws separate because they are kind of a different length. So you make sure you keep them separate so you know which one goes where. These are a little bit shorter than the other brass screws that we took out. So we need to lift the board out, and you want to be careful because you got 4 prongs that go into a plug. So you got to kind of lift it straight up, but you want to like kind of wiggle it back and forth until you can lift it straight up because you don't want to bend the pins. And by the way, I didn't know this, but there is actually a fuse under there. So something to think about if it doesn't work, if your PlayStation 2 doesn't work, maybe it's the fuse. You can check that out. Maybe replace that. All right, we take this cover off, put that off to the side. There's this little plastic thing that is in the way. So you lift that up and out of the way. It's pretty sturdy. I didn't feel afraid that I was going to tear it. It's kind of a thick little plastic thingy. Put it off to the side. Okay, now we got the guts out. Switching to the handheld view, real quick, these are the 4 pins. I had mentioned that's why you want to pull the board straight up. Kind of wiggle it and pull it up because you don't want to bend those pins. This is the fan right here, and this is the fan connection. That's what we're going to try to disconnect so we can get the fan out. So the fan wire is held down with this piece of tape. I had a heck of a time getting this tape out. I wanted to keep it like in one piece so I could reuse it. I couldn't get it with my fingers. I tried with the tweezers there. I just ripped off a little piece of it. So I'm going to try the tweezers again and lift it up. Nope, that didn't work. Let me try reaching in with my hand and pull it. Nope, that didn't work either. I eventually just gave up and be like, well, I'm not going to be able to reuse this piece of tape here. Now, what I wanted to do was reach in with the tweezers and just pull the connection thing up by the connector there, but it wouldn't come out no matter how hard I tried. I don't really think you can do it that way. I didn't want to do it, but I kind of pulled it up by the wires. You never really want to do that, but I could not get it out. So we're back to the steady cam, and just to get you oriented, this is the fan here. These are the 4 prongs, and then here is the connector that we just took off. So the fan comes out of the bottom or the top. I don't know anymore which way we're facing. But that you lift it up so you can take out that piece, and then the fan is in there. And there's actually a screw in there that holds the fan right there. So you got to get the screwdriver to take that out. That's not going to really fit. Let me get my regular screwdriver. And whoops, okay. Maybe that's why it's broken. All right, we picked it back up. Seems to be okay. So take that screw out. Okay, we kind of lift it up here to take it out. And there you see it. There's the fan. It's pretty dusty. No need to clean it. There you see the information, if it would focus a little bit there. So you can see the voltage and all that. So the fan is out. Now we need to get a new one. So here's an actual photo of the label of the original PlayStation fan. So you can see the voltage. You want to make sure everything matches up with the new one. I at first was going to get a new fan off of eBay. A couple of people have the actual Sony PlayStation fan here, $8 with free shipping, $8.99 with free shipping. But then I thought, well, if I buy a used one, chances are it's going to fail again eventually. So how about Amazon? I found this one for just under $8. It was Prime, so I didn't have to pay for shipping. And I figured, well, it's not an official PlayStation fan, but it is brand new. Let's order up that one and sit around and wait for it to get here. Okay, the new fan has arrived. We compare it to the old one on the left, new one on the right. it looks like to be the same size and everything, so that is always a good thing. I think we're ready to pop this one in. So I'm pretty sure that it only can go in one way. I had it in like that, and I took it out and was flipping it around to see, does it go this way, does it go that way? Flip it over, but it seems like it can only go in one way, which makes it idiot proof, which means even I can do it. All right, so you remember we had to lift it up a little to get the fan out because it came out from the bottom as we're looking at it now. So you kind of lift up the unit to slide that in there to make sure it fits and everything. Eagle-eyed viewers might notice I forgot to put the screw back into the fan. I had a screw left over. I'm like, where's this go? I figured out later, but I'm not going to go ahead and put it back in. All right, so you plug the connector in, and I'm just double checking here to make sure that, yes, this seems to also be idiot proof. I believe it can only go in one way. Got it plugged in, just making sure the cable is out of the way. I tried putting a piece of tape there, and that did not work at all. Next is the plastic piece. This also appears to be idiot proof. It can only really go on one way. That does not stop me from having a little bit of trouble getting it in there. And that next step is to put the cover back on. You want to make sure that it slides right in and fits everything, lines up okay. Then the board goes back on. And much like when we took it off, you want to go line up the pins there and make sure you go straight down so you don't bend the pins. Make sure everything's lined up first and everything, and then you can slowly push it into place. Get your 4 shorter brass screws and screw everything down. Now remember, we're looking at the bottom, so get the bottom of the PlayStation and you kind of wiggle that in. And of course, just like taking it off, I had a lot of trouble getting it back on. Just kind of try to line up everything. I wrestled with this for a while, and eventually at one point I flipped it over. Let me try getting everything in this way now. Okay, finally, I think I got it. Then we tuck the fan back in. See if that slides right in. Looks good. Just checking everything to make sure everything's lined up correctly. So the bottom screws are still out, but while I'm up here at the top, let me screw with these 4 longer brass screws in. Ah, it's my old nemesis, the power switch. I'm not going to let you people suffer and watch me try to get this thing back in, since it took me so long to get it back out. But I did eventually get it back in. Yay me! Chest and the buttons, they seem to be working. I press the button and it doesn't concave back into the console, so that's always good. So I think it's all connected and ready to go. So you put the top back on, and again, it's one of those things where you got to line up everything and make sure it slips in. So just making trouble there, to making sure everything lines up, kind of tilted a little bit, and press it down, and oh, I think I got it. Well, that one wasn't too bad. Let me check it out. Looks pretty good. Flip it over, because of course we have the screws to put back in. And remember, the 4 of them on the right are the long screws. Get them out and we will pop those in. I didn't want to put all the screws back in and then not have it work, so I only put in 2 screws, one like in one corner and one in the opposite corner, and then we're going to go test it. So we're back out by the TV. Turn the power switch on. Obviously everything is hooked up. Hit the reset button here to turn it on, and we'll slide it out to see if the fan is working. Get a flashlight, shine it in there. I think you can tell it is definitely spinning. So yay, we fixed it. So that's cool. So let's get those screws back in and further test it. I mean, I don't think you need to see a video of me screwing screws back in and putting the little feet back on. So let's get right to the testing. There I am in the reflection. In my favorite game, Need for Speed, Hot Pursuit. Is that what it's called? Anyway, we put the game in, and there you go. Everything seems to be working great. All right, so that wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad taking the PS2 apart. It wasn't too bad putting it back together. So definitely, I think if your fan doesn't work, I think if you just take it slow and watch what you're doing and pay attention, you ought to be all right to fix it yourself. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and I will talk to you later. Bye.